If people are wondering what this is the app known as Ramble. I'm picking up the low emission devices that the perps are using, which is basically handing off and trading the data that is actually being collected from me currently in real time. The time is 9:09 a.m. and it is Saturday, June 27th. And it seems like that lady wasn't joking. They really are using Apple to basically do this. If TIs are wondering what this is, all the surveillance stuff that these perps are doing, as far as communicating with each other and all that stuff, this is what it's catching. All that data on them reporting and communicating with one another, this is what it's catching. And this is just one more step towards basically getting into their base of operations and exposing them for what they're doing. Now, I'm trying to think. This may have had something to do with the actual weaponized systems that they're using too. But you definitely want to check out the channel that I recommended to basically find out more information. I need to basically take down some notes for each individual video just so I know the basis of precisely what everything is meant to used for. I better get ready because I gotta back this evidence up just as well as I'm taking it down. Now, as you see, this is capturing both the dates and times this is happening. Not just that, but also their addresses as well. And it even says nearby, so this is not far away at all. Definitely going to do more and more tabs of information gathering when they do these attempts of when they do hack. But you see, this actually exposes their operations a lot, like just in plain sight. But from what I remember, she was talking about, I believe this did have something to do with the low emissions. So this could be them triggering the the weaponized systems from their devices. But then again, she basically mentioned that this was basically what was known as trade-off, like the data that they trade, from back and forth. So I'm wondering, when they do trade-off, does that mean that like the reaction data that they get from TIs? Could that be what that was? I don't know. The best thing for every TI to do is to basically just check out the channel. Check out a channel, get the information, and then please share the those tactics with every other TI. I'm probably gonna do a showcase with the apps in question, so you all will know. I can't record over the videos she made because of privacy concerns, even though she's also being hacked. There's still the meaning of the information. I can't like just post that. It has to be, but this information here is different since this is happening to me in real time. And there's a Bluetooth device. I don't own any Bluetooth devices, and the only ones that I did own are broken, if I'm not mistaken. They were a pair of headphones, but those are long since been gone, and I have not used them since. So I definitely don't own any Bluetooth devices. Definitely don't. If anything, if any other TI is not aware, do not use anything that's don't ever use headphones that are Bluetooth accessible. Don't, because with them hacking, they can basically send any type of some type of frequency through that. Now then, another thing needs to be stated. If you all saw the video of Kanika Jenkins, that woman at the end of the video who was basically, basically giving out the information that yes, giving a clarification, yes, Kanika Jenkins was targeted. She's also a TI as well. I'm gonna try to see if I can find out where the original source of that video was at, so that I can basically let her know that there is a way to track these bastards, and there is a way to prove it, and there is a way to detox the stuff out of your system. We need to find as many fellow TIs as we possibly can. This isn't just within our neighborhoods. It's not just because in our local cities. This is going as far as even into the other countries. There's even TIs in China, TIs in Japan, TIs in Ireland, TIs in Canada, TIs in UK, all over the place, and a lot more, all over the place. Uh huh. So I think it's possible to save this, but But dude, I'm just, man. But this is apparently supposed to be like the trade-off with the low emission devices. So this could be like the devices they have all throughout your home. You know, when they go in and they hide, you know, they literally hide the equipment throughout your home. It could be very well that, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, the Bluetooth disappears. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, possibly 10, possibly way more too. Apple, Apple, Apple. Every damn thing they're using is all Apple. But remember, she said like they were using Apple AirPlay to basically transfer this information. So I just eavesdropped onto this data that they're basically transferring to one another. And it seems they have no shame in still doing it. I mean, I'm catching every single bit of all the stuff that they're basically doing. But they don't seem to have no shame, even when it's like literally exposed like this. So I want to make sure I get a good enough footage on this. Tia is one thing you definitely don't want to do is to react to the perps when you go out. Now I did go out and announce the channel's name for people to be warned about this situation. Also to not be fooled, because it's not, they'll make you want to believe like it's everybody. It's not everybody. And to the people who like are not involved, it's nothing against you. But with this situation, like you see, you need to understand for people who are, you know, tuning into the channel, who may have seen me out in public basically announcing the channel's name and all that stuff. Look, I did that to basically get to the people who are not involved in this bullshit. This isn't this doesn't mean that it involves you. So don't think that for a second. If you're not involved or on their payroll, and I honestly recommend you not to be on their payroll, because TIs are going to be able to start literally tracking these bastards down and catching them left and right and identifying them. This is getting more to a point to where like it's not just a mere accusation. You actually have factual evidence to back everything up. I should warn fellow TIs, the worst type of device you could possibly have is a LG and an Apple phone. Why? Well, as you see here, all the devices they are using are all Apples. Probably makes their hacking a lot easier. Now, this didn't happen. None of this happened until I received an update not too long ago. Just so happened to be nothing but a damn Trojan horse update. So I'm warning people about that too. They will like send a fake update. And what that fake update will do is give them hackable access. But you see, because of me allowing that to happen, it's giving me all this information here. But I probably most likely would have gotten that information even without me doing that. So all of these devices that you're seeing here, are actually, they are actual people using these even as I speak, transfer the information that is related to my targeting. I did not consent for my information to be shared like that from what these perps are doing. This is happening before I showcase the area of which I am at. And the only reason for me to do that is for people to bear witness as to where the area of operations are. So you see where that's going. So even with that said, no TI gives anybody permission to share any personal information, period. I don't care whether it's on your channel. No, you do not have permission to showcase that. It's one thing to mirror a channel, but like if you're showing someone else's like information like that, that's a whole nother story. However, it is not illegal to film a person's license plate if they are suspected of being involved in illegal acts and basically publicizing that. That is not illegal. Why? Quite simple. Because as long as you have evidence to back up the circumstances of your situation, you're within your legal rights to do so. And not to mention, it's legal to basically publicize it. And, that's, you could, you have that, even despite the fact that it's public, it's still a way for you to store your evidence. So it still counts. The only time when it is illegal is if you're practically like way too close to the vehicle and like you're literally like pressed up against it all in the window. So don't do that. Don't ever do that, okay? Unless the person is like actually like really involved and they're basically making it super obvious. Don't act threatening towards them at all, because that's a setup. They've done that a lot. They will try to use these weapons to excite you a lot. They will do this to basically get you in a position to where they can try to say, oh, like he was acting aggressively towards me. And they tried this on me before, but I wasn't going for it. I refused to and act out like that. And that's the problem here, is that when you're heavily laced with this stuff and you got these people using these weapons on you, it can definitely trigger different reactions. It creates a boot. It boosts your interest into that reaction. It just happens so fast that you gotta literally build up some experience just to be able to counteract it, to basically prevent it from forcing that reaction. This is why gangstalkers are so excited when you give off a reaction, because it's giving them more and more data that can trigger more and more reactions. So don't react to any of the things that they do. Don't react to any of the things that they say. Even when like when I'm doing live streams, I'm kind of like more vulnerable that way, as you saw. But if I'm not doing live streams and I'm just recording, but I'm not like holding my phone up or anything like that, then I'm less vulnerable that way, because I'm able to just focus out on what I'm doing. In fact, I plan on taking it back to that so that I don't have to worry about that at all, actually, because that is a dangerous situation to deal with. As for any of the gaslighting attempts they do on the hallway, I do have audio surveillance for that. As far as what they've been doing, they're probably going to be happy that I'm going to be mentioning this, but I mean, it doesn't matter at this point, because the more and more stuff they do, the more and more it just makes it obvious. Remember with the three dot stains that I was basically mentioning? I'm pretty sure people noticed a pattern there, how like several different three dots just so happened to pop up. That wasn't a mere circumstances. That was people doing that. As I said, three dots. More and more three dots just so happened to kept popping up on the map. My icon, my GPS icon, was being literally manipulated and cloned and used against my own will. I didn't give consent for any of this to happen, and these people are basically breaking the law. So this is definitely within lines of a felony offense as far as breach of privacy. And I'm pretty certain this is breaking a lot of civil laws here. Quite a lot. So when I identify these people, anybody who hears my channel or anything like that, when I speak out about it, when I do, it's only to inform the population as to what's really going on and what they're not telling you. You need to understand what the pattern as to which they do things. They tell you what they want you to hear, but not what you need to hear. This has been a common trend with the corrupt for decades, man. It's been a common trend for them for decades, and it's just how it is. That people are paid off to basically spread, or basically to practically debunk factual information from people to understand, and to make it seem like, oh, well, like, no, this person just doesn't, know what they're talking about or whatever. They're just paid off. They're paid off because, and understand, when they are acting like that, when they do that, they are in aiding in allowing other people to suffer from not being able to pick up that information to protect themselves. So they're basically are backing up of an inaction to basically provide helpful information to people to basically actually benefit and help themselves out. Many TIs go through so much stalking on a daily basis that it's insane. It's insane that a person can just end up becoming that corrupt just with the promise of a few funds like that. A lot of these target individuals have families. A lot of these target individuals have kids of their own. And if you think that they're not using these weapons on their kids, oh, you're mistaken. They do. They definitely do. This is my attempt to put a stop to this corrupt organization for good. To expose the people working for them, because it's when you basically back them into a corner to where they have no choice but to basically, and I am picking up tinnitus right now, actually, as I am stating this. Let me see where I put my shielding at. I know I left it around here somewhere, but the thing's way too large to miss. Apparently, I made sure I got the statement from this guy from a recent incident that happened, and this isn't an intentional thing that they're doing. The packet. Now I have to say this down for evidence as well, even though I already got the audio logs and stuff. Now, all of my packages always, when they were sent, I got evidence that says, well, the package arrived, but the package was illegally withheld from my possession. That is a felony offense. These people are on camera doing this. They even sent a dude in the room who was on camera dressed in gray shorts, gray shirt. He walked in there. He had the item in his hand, and he literally tried to sneak and slip it on the table. That's why he was there. I didn't think I noticed that, but I did. That guy went over there, and what these attempts are basically used for, quite simple. They're used to gaslight me, to basically force out a reaction. So the guy's statement, I won't say his name, but it is on the audio logs. The guy's statement, oh, well, like, sometimes they'll basically set the package as delivered, but it won't be like delivered into the next day. These are actual people dropping off these packages, and that was a lie. Nobody lists an item as delivered if it's not there. And it's if what them's doing, that means it is there. It's just that someone moved it. That's what it is. Someone moved it because why? They are financially motivated to basically twist and gaslight you on a daily basis. They are paid off to do this. That's why they're so motivated to do it. You want to know why people would do small, little bitty stuff like this? Is because they're being paid. I don't know how many times I got to keep telling people the same situation. They're being paid, they're being paid, they're being paid. People's organs are being harvested by these fucking terrorists as this is happening. People, I've already provided an article linking the damn power plants to this shit. And I can keep coming up with more and more evidence, but like, if people aren't catching on right by now, something is just not right with them. And I'm literally, with me being manipulated by these weapons, I'm still willing to fight against this bullshit. But I know for a fact everybody's basically being doused down with this bullshit. I know that to be true because we're all breathing the same damn air. Now, this whole thing is going to be a double-edged sword, especially for TIs. The damn chemtrails out there out there in the air. I man, there is a video that a fellow TI posted that I want you all to check out. It talks about what's going on, like what basically what Trump had did. Look, man, I still believe there are corruption on both sides. That's my honest opinion. But what the interesting thing about this is that there of a massive takeover and the destruction of the satanic platform that has existed within many different factions, and the fact that a lot of these people who are within our own government were actually government China paid influencers for their own regime were being paid off from Chinamen to do the things that they were doing. Now, people, not all Chinamen are like that. That's their government. There are people within China trying to have a voice, but their government is basically preventing them from having it by censoring their content. So I'm not against Chinamen, but I am against their communist government. You've seen the videos, people being forced out of their homes, dragged, beaten. I don't think it could get any more crazier than that, man. All of this stuff is happening, and then we have people out there having the nerve to literally sit there with a straight face and just try to say, "No, this isn't happening. This is fake. This is false. This is false. This is not happening." And I'm just like, I don't know how a person like that can even sleep at night. I just don't know. I don't know. I guess they're comfortable with people being tortured. That's the only thing I can basically muster up. But I'm not. I don't care what the reasons are because I will still be there to bring out the truth, regardless of whether they like it or not. Even if it shall cost me my life, I will literally bring the truth out there because there are millions of people suffering today in real time.